10 guys.
Wonder if I dare text him while he's driving? That's probably a bad thing.
He's a former cop. Don't do it.
I'm not driving. He is.
Wake up, USA. This is Daybreak on your radio. This is America's original news magazine, Daybreak USA.
We are the original news magazine. How exciting is that? Angie Austin here. Hi, friend. Thanks for joining us. We've got Lieutenant Randy Sutton with Blue Lives Matter coming up with the latest on those officers that were shot, more coming out of Palm Springs on that story. And as John, you mentioned earlier, the female police officer just had a baby 4 months ago. And there's pictures all over social media now of her holding her baby. And it really gets to me.
That was hard to look at yesterday. I saw that same story and just unbelievably tragic. What a sad situation.
Gosh, that baby will never have it. The baby won't have a mama. All right, Dave Perkins is going to join us to talk about, at the Hillary rally, there was actually a man in that, like the old Obama, Hope shirts, you remember from the last campaign? And it said, rape at the bottom. It had a picture of Bill Clinton, and he's right behind and to the side of Hillary. So it was Hillary and the guy wearing the Clinton rape shirts. We're going to talk about that with Dave Perkins. And then we have some much lighter news and a good news story coming up as well. But let's get rolling into the news headlines, shall we, John?
Yeah, today is the deadline in at least 15 states and territories to register to vote in the November 8th presidential election, which, by the way, is my birthday. The National Voter Registration Act, which applies to federal elections, requires states to accept registrations postmarked 30 days before the election. We're now less than 4 weeks to the election. The deadline had been extended beyond today in Florida and South Carolina, and all because of Hurricane Matthew. So a little bit of a break for them.
All right, my home state of Colorado in the headlines.
Go out by mail a week from today, so that most of them have been printed and are in the process of going into the envelopes and heading out into the mail streams.
Well, that's good.
Oh, that's good. So I'm still going to do my Colorado story here. I don't know. I don't know quite what happened there. Okay, so some Colorado U.S. Congress members are calling for Donald Trump to quit the presidential race. Now, since the release of the recording on the bus, Colorado Deputy Secretary of State Suzanne Stellert says, regardless, millions of ballots are already out with Donald Trump's name on them. We just heard that. You heard that she said that they're already out there in the mail stream. Senator Cory Gardner, Representative Mike Kaufman, and U.S. Senate candidate Darrell Glenn issued a statement over the weekend saying Trump abandoning the ticket is the only hope for beating Hillary Clinton. That's what they say. And Cory Gardner and I sometimes serve at the rescue mission, so I might see him at Thanksgiving. That's where we like to go to serve with our families. But he always cuts out early. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I stay there for the whole 9 yards, the cleanup, the everything. I don't just go to smile and sign an autograph. Okay.
Really? So you don't bring your 8x10 glossies along, and you don't hand.
I don't have glossies anymore. That was in TV and radio. We get nothing. No glossy.
No, we get headphones. So we get headphone hair. That's what we get. Hillary Clinton, she has glossies, and she also says that Donald Trump should be spending more time apologizing and less time attacking.
Insulted not just women, but African Americans, Latinos, people with disabilities, Muslims, POWs, and so many more.
She was in Detroit where she said Trump needs to answer for the, quote, terrible way he treats women. And that's interesting because right behind her, like you were just talking about, the man in the T-shirt. And that was quite a T-shirt. But the Bill Clinton picture and then the word rapist underneath it. That's a terrible way to treat women.
It just says rape underneath Bill's. I just don't even know how like, I mean, the picture's so clear of him like side by side with Hillary, right behind her, but to the side. And so it's like a two shot of the two of them. It's just crazy. And then didn't she say follow that guy? And
yes.
by the way, I don't know if Hillary saw Saturday Night Live, but Trump did apologize. He said, I'm apologizing. And then they said, are you apologizing? I'm apologizing, because they were saying it was so difficult for him to apologize that he wanted to apologize.
That's
so,
funny.
People to vote for Donald Trump. Juanita Broderick was one of the women saying that she is supporting Trump and she believes we should too. Here we go.
Mr. Trump may have said some bad words, but Bill Clinton raped me and Hillary Clinton threatened me. I don't think there's any comparison.
That is pretty powerful. Kathleen Willey and Paula Jones also appeared with Trump at a press conference shortly before the debate with Hillary Clinton, as you know.
Unbelievable. And by the way, an Arizona man accused of a terrorist plot pleads out. He's 18-year-old Maheen Khan. He pled guilty to charges of terrorism, conspiracy to commit terrorism, and conspiracy to commit misconduct involving weapons. As part of the deal, he'll serve 7 years in prison and will be on probation once he's released, all in Arizona this morning.
All right. Innocent food items coming up in your home are glowing with radiation, including your avocados and bananas. How creepy. I didn't even know that. I'm going to go turn the lights out and see if I can see my banana for lunch. Misguided husband buys his wife a bizarre first anniversary gift, and surprisingly, it ends up on eBay. What is it? I need to know. All of that coming up. And next, though, Blue Lives Matter with Lieutenant Randy Sutton.
Do you want to stay live with Randy?
Sure.
Or do you want to start a new segment?
It'll be audio only, I think, if he's driving.
I think you can just continue.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he's on the phone. This Facebook or Skype is not on.
Yeah, he's on his way to the airport. Have you shared it already, John?
It needs a verification code for me to get in, believe it or not.
Into YouTube?
Yeah, it says verify it's you. To sign into your Google account, choose a task from the list below. Get a text message, get a phone call with a verification.
Okay, do a text message.
All right, I'll call you back in 3 minutes. So, Randy is not going to be here until 3 minutes from now.
Okay. Oh, I can't. Let's see. I got to give it to you here.
So we can talk about the Blue Bell or the they've announced a nationwide boycott against Ben and Jerry's. I can put that whole press release in there.
Who has?
Blue Lives Matter did this morning.
Should I do the Charlie Brown Christmas tree?
We could do that.
Or the food glowing with radiation?
First.
Or the bizarre anniversary gift. Do you know that one?
Let's do the Christmas tree.
Okay. That's the code there, John. But you don't have to do it right now.
I better before it expires.
You don't have to say man in his 50s. You can say grown man receives coffee from 92-year-old mom. Grown newsman or newscaster. So Randy will only be on for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
When are you calling him?
A minute after the segment starts.
Okay.
Okay, that was a John Rush.
Just message me in the box when he's on, will you?
Sounds good.
Oh man, I'm tired.
Mike, I'm gonna push for midday debates so we can watch them in the middle of the day and not have these debate hangovers.
11:10.
Cold in here.
I got the eye of the tiger, dancing through the fire.
Welcome back to Daybreak USA.
And you're gonna hear.
All right, John DeMaster. Let's talk about this Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Now, last year it got a lot of attention. A town had a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It was so ugly they were going to dump it. Then it became like an international sensation. It went viral, and people are like, "Don't get rid of the Charlie Brown Christmas tree." And it was bad. And so now they have a solution.
Yeah, and so what they're going to do is they're going to get an artificial Christmas tree. The mayor, Wally Scott, has agreed to erect a donated 34-foot synthetic tree rather than take another chance on a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And so I guess the good news here is they'll have the same Christmas tree, and it should be in good shape for more than 20 years, which is kind of nice. I always put my Christmas tree up like in November because I just love having the Christmas tree up. But it inadvertently before Christmas would turn into a Charlie Brown tree because I'd forget to water it. So this would be good for them. It'd be good for everybody. They won't have to deal with the complaining about the Charlie Brown tree.
It's in Pennsylvania, if you remember from last year. It's about 60 miles west of Philly, and it will have 1,250 ornaments, about 2,000 lights, and it was $20,000 for this tree. So it better look good. By the way, my tree has lasted now. My tree now has lasted for 15 years, and it looks just fine.
Was
I love
it $20,000?
No, and I got it on sale at Home Depot. It was on clearance after Christmas before I got married. So there you have it. All right, Lieutenant Randy Sutton. He's a former police officer, actor, radio host, and national spokesman for Blue Lives Matter, and the author of the book A Cop's Life: True Stories from the Heart Behind the Badge. He is traveling around the country speaking to homicide detectives about the war on cops, and he has the latest on that. But also, the charges are expected to be filed today in the killing of 2 Palm Springs police officers. Hello, Randy.
Hi, good morning, Angie.
Okay, so what's going on? Everyone's heart is being broken over the female officer pictures that have been all over the internet going viral of her holding her newborn baby because she's a brand new mom, one of the officers that died.
It was absolutely tragic. In fact, I had a conversation with a couple of Palm Springs officers yesterday, and you can feel the emotion in the voices of the officers. The Palm Springs Police Department is a fairly small agency and very much family. And in fact, the officer that I spoke to yesterday that was very close to her was actually her field training officer. She's only been on the job 18 months, and he was her field training officer, which you get very close in that relationship anyway. And to make this thing even more tragic, her husband was a Riverside deputy, a neighboring jurisdiction, and he was on duty and heard the call go out about his wife being shot. And it's just it's devastating on a personal level as well as a professional level. And she was very well respected. But we can all really feel the emotion about this because of the humanity involved here and the fact that a child's going to grow up motherless now.
Well, and then also the veteran officer who was near retirement, he's a father of 8. Are you kidding me? And, from what I understand, in some of the fast facts about this guy, I don't even want to say his name, the shooter, there were reports the suspect wanted to shoot police, and one witness heard about 100 shots. And you said they were set up that this guy wanted to assassinate cops. So it's part of the war on cops. Yes.
Well, he's a known gang member. He shouldn't have even been out of prison. He did a shooting 2 years ago, was convicted of what was termed an attempted assassination. Only got 4-year term. Okay, he only got sentenced to 4 years, Angie. But because Governor Moonbeam over in California, because of their liberal policies, he was released after 2 years for shooting someone. Come on now, that's the insanity that's going on. And this guy, this punk. Unfortunately, the father of this guy had come out of the house and told a neighbor that his son wanted to kill the police, but it didn't get communicated to the police. So they walked on just as if it was just a normal call, and the suspect shot them through the door.
Right through the door.
It was an ambush.
Lieutenant Randy Sutton getting ready to get on a plane traveling around the country to speaking to homicide detectives about the war on cops. Again, Blue Lives Matter. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Randy. All right. Say they stop 81%. Isn't that right?
Right, over 80%. Yep. So the difference is tens of thousands of people in a year, minimum, maybe hundreds of thousands of people.
That's a lot of people. That's a whole city.
I'm going to go back to my reason this happens because it sounds so wacky. It sounds so crazy that people would be lying about numbers of successful illegal immigrants and so forth and stacking up illegal immigrants in this country and bussing them all around. I'll tell you why. Because
do you see that we're
on a permanent voting majority?
Do you see we're bringing in like 900 Syrian refugees a day now with the new fiscal year? That's exciting.
Democrats also want a cultural opposition to the Judeo-Christian West, and they
Will
want
they be
it
able to
living here
vote?
and being citizens. Sure, they will eventually.
By November, not by
Oh,
November.
here we go. No,
Not
by
by
November.
this year, but eventually. It's a long-term project.
This is gonna be the best day of my life.
You're listening to Daybreak USA.
Dave Perkins, host of the Dave Perkins Show. We're going to talk about the man wearing the Clinton rape shirt next to Hillary at one of her rallies. Also, the border battle. Apparently, the number of people getting across is much higher than the official numbers the government is giving us. And then in addition to that, we're going to talk about Clinton's public and private positions clashing. Let's start, Dave Perkins, with that man in the Clinton shirt that said rape who was standing almost next to Hillary. I mean, he's all over social media.
He had a T-shirt with a big picture of Bill Clinton on it, and everyone thought he'll make Hillary look good, so they let him on up, and nobody realized the graphic under the picture said the word rape, and so he sat himself down behind her and started straightening out his T-shirt so everyone could see the rape word, and somebody got word to her, and the crew came and ran him off, and she, I believe, is said to have given the instruction, get after that guy, find him, which is this close to beat him down to the ground until he's a greasy puddle and teach them a lesson. I mean, this is the tyrannical instinct to shout at the crowd, go after that guy, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
It is to me. And that guy, to me, there's a 10% margin. 10% of the people start behaving differently, and then suddenly the rest of them go. It's a floodgate. And I have seen a lot of black people talking and behaving differently than they used to in past elections. And I'm looking forward to that 10% day when they're no longer just lined up behind the Democrat, no matter who it is. That's a good sign for me, but a scary one if Hillary wins, because that's a dictatorial attitude from her.
Well, you know what's interesting is I tried to have like a very open discussion on my other Good News program. And so I brought in my pastor who's African American, one of my best girlfriends, probably my best friend, who's African American, and then John Gibbs. And I knew John was conservative. So my pastor says, you really didn't get much of a discussion going here. We're all Republicans. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know. So anyway, that was interesting. I'm a little out of it, I guess. All right. So let's talk about this border battle, okay? So apparently the numbers that are being released by the government are showing that they're stopping 81% of the people trying to get across the border. But the AP said last week that they estimate that 54% of the roughly 315,000 people, so over half of 315,000 people trying to cross the border, they succeeded in 2015. Now the government's saying we're stopping over 80%. So it's tens of thousands more who are getting here illegally than they're telling us. Let's put it that way. Isn't that right?
They've been working on this. Remember, Ronald Reagan was asked by Ted Kennedy and the Democrats in '86 to do amnesty on the basis that once we do it, we won't ever have to do it again. And Reagan smilingly signed the bill and invited 3 million illegal aliens to become citizens. And the next thing he knew, there were 3 million more lined up because Kennedy and the Democrats never did what they had to do, which is stop the border, stop the crossing afterward. They naturally lied to Reagan, and Reagan smiled and took it. And so he did it. And now 30 years later in 2006, the Republican Party is along with it. John McCain tries to get the whole country to go along with amnesty, this time for 11 million people. And it's my opinion now that there's 30, 40 million illegal aliens running around here at the behest of the Democrat Party with help from Republicans now. I don't know why. It makes me crazy. But to me, the Democrat Party is building a future majority of voters. First, get them here, then get them the right to vote. And we've seen over and over again in the news little efforts here and there to get the right to vote to illegal aliens, driver's licenses in California and New York, voter registration cards handed out at border crossings. The purpose of illegal aliens here, in case you don't know it, is to get them registered, get them the vote, and make them into a permanent Democrat voting majority. Period.
All right, real quick, Dave, because we've got to get to our entertainment headlines as well. Not as important as you, of course, but give us just a synopsis of the Clintons' public and private positions clashing.
Somebody's got an email that says that and has released it. WikiLeaks, I guess, maybe Julian Assange, and now she has to handle it, which I don't think will be too much for her. There won't be a lot of pressure on her to finish this because all the pressure is being directed onto Trump. But she's admitted in this email, a private email, she hasn't admitted publicly, that she takes two different positions so that she won't have to defend her real position to the public. The public position is obviously the fake one. And it comes to mind that she has spent all this time saying we need to punish Wall Street and we need to tax the rich. That's her public position. And in private, her position is making deal after deal after deal with every rich person and getting along with them and helping make them richer. So you see, because that helps her get richer too. There's a collaboration going on to fool the public about the leader of the left and their concern that rich people have too much and they're not paying enough. It's a fake concern. There's not just two positions, public and private. There's two, fake and real. And the real one is she's on the side of Wall Street. Don't forget that.
Dave Perkins, The Dave Perkins Show. Thank you, Dave.
Take care.
Nancy O'Dell responds to Trump comments and more entertainment headlines. Ben Olson is here. Hi, Ben.
Good morning, Angie. Here's what's happening. Entertainment Tonight host Nancy O'Dell is addressing Donald Trump's lewd comments after she found herself in the spotlight. At her first day back at work yesterday, O'Dell said she firmly stands by the statement she released on Saturday. She added she didn't want to be thrown into the middle of the political arena. A conversation from 2005 surfaced Friday between Donald Trump and Billy Bush, O'Dell's Access Hollywood co-host at the time. Trump dismissed the comments as locker room banter and apologized to anybody he offended. Bush was suspended from the Today Show. Drake now holds the record for the most American Music Award nominations, announced yesterday. Michael Jackson set the record in 1984 with 11 nods, but Drake topped that this year with 13. The rapper is leading nominations in categories including Artist of the Year, Favorite Rap Artist, Favorite Rap Song, and others. Rihanna is following with 7 nominations, and Adele and Justin Bieber both have 5. The American Music Awards will be broadcast live from Los Angeles on November 20th. Beyonce's Formation World Tour is over following this past weekend's final show in New Jersey. The 49-date, 6-month-long tour closed with special onstage appearances from her husband, Jay. I'm Ben Olson for Daybreak USA.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ben Olson. Coming up, we are going to talk about the unique, interesting first anniversary gift that a husband gave his wife, and it ended up on eBay, if you can imagine that. All of that and more coming up on Daybreak USA.
Well, that was the weirdest thing I have ever seen.
What
What?
just happened?
Well, Trevino said that my